Alright, welcome to Shaka Quantics. And in this tutorial, I'll be putting us through how to measure a swimming pool. As you can see, this is a sketch of the swimming pool here. Measurement of a swimming pool. Alright, now this drawing is referenced to Lagos State Membership Refresher course. Right, so generally for those preparing for exam and for everyone. Alright, so that is where we pick this particular drawing. Now this is the details of the swimming pool. This is the plan and this is the sectional detail. A 15 by 8 meter, and the wall is 250, the wall of the swimming pool, while the block wall is 150 surrounding the concrete walls of the swimming pool. Alright, this is the details we have here also. Alright, these are the reinforcement details. This is Y16, the main bars are Y16, while the runners are Y12. The same thing here, main bars Y12, runners are also Y12. We're told that the depth here is 1.5, the depth here is 2.1. Of course, you know swimming pool always has two levels, the shallow part and the deep part of the swimming pool. Now this is what I'm trying to explain, so I just had to extract this video, this particular photo from the internet. Now this is the block wall, right? It is surrounded here. You see the formwork. If you can see my cursor, this is the concrete. That's where the concrete is going to be, right? So the block wall on the outer part, the exposed part, and then the concrete wall in between, and then the concrete is cast. So this is what you're seeing here. This is one level here. This is the shallow part. Now this is the deep part, right? So that is what you have here. This is the shallow part. This is the deep part of the swimming pool. All right, so other details we have there, we are told that there's waterproofing, right, at the exposed part of the swimming pool, right, at the part of the earth, the surface that will touch the natural ground, the earth, it will be waterproofed, right, to prevent water seepage. Okay, and also we're told that there's a water bar that is 600 mm high. Now of course the technicality is this, because we have different heights now, so you need to be able to manipulate between the heights, right, and the levels also. Okay, now another thing is not all swimming pools are this shape, right, but the principle remains the same. The principle remains the same. So this is basically what we'll be looking at in this particular tutorial today, how to measure a swimming pool. Okay, let's dive into these sheets basically. All right, so this is basically how we go about it. It's a swimming pool for whoever. Now these are the information. Our reference document is BSMM 4R. Now if you look at the drawing, especially if you're preparing for exam, right, the drawing didn't tell us it is millimeter or it is in meter, right? So now it is intentional, so that when you're working, you will be able to state your assumptions. Especially if it's a professional work, somebody gave you will see all the dimensions and you will know if it is in millimeter or if it is in meters. But for an exam situation, you are not going to be told. So it is part of your assumption that you are going to state, and your examiner is going to see that, oh, this person understands the drawing. Kunjiko. So all right, now these are some of the assumptions. It could be more, you could discover more, right? The third dimensions are in millimeter, Now also remember you're going to excavate below the ground. Now there are no overhead or underground services. It's an assumption. Alright. The topsoil is bad and will not be reused. It's a swimming pool. Right, if you want to reuse the topsoil, maybe okay, except there's a flower, you want to plant flower around the swimming pool, which is most times not so. So the topsoil is not good and is being cutted away. Reinforcement covers are 25 mm, bends are 75 mm. Your own can be 100. Your own cover can be 50. It's your own assumption. And of course, when you're working in the drawing, it should reflect it also that is what. If you're working if you're preparing if you're doing your takeoff, it should reflect also that okay, I use cover as 50 mm, I use bend as 100 mm, or I use bend as 150. All right, now of course, always you have to prepare a takeoff list. You have to prepare a takeoff list if you're especially if you're writing an exam, or if you're a beginner and you're doing a job, you don't miss out on any item. You prepare a list. Alright, so it will guide you on what you want to do. Now, if you're writing an exam, it is a must. Now, I've stated this over and over again. If you're writing an exam, it is a must, right? You must prepare a takeoff list. Now, I'll say it again. The reason is this: so that when at the end of the day you couldn't finish because of time. Because if it's MRC, I guarantee you will not finish because the time will not be there, and there's so many things to do. All right. So when your examiner sees the list, he knows that this person knows what he wants to do, but the time wasn't enough. Even when you don't know it, he begins to think like that. All right. So we'll try as much as we can to be as fast as possible. We've done so many of this. We've done pad and strip foundation. We have we've done tutorial rather on pile foundation. We've done tutorial on raft foundation, right? So it is still the same process, just a different item of work. Swimming pool, right? In this case, the same excavation, the same concrete, the same reinforcement. Amount na water. It's the same thing, just a different item of work this time around. The same excavation you do, the same excavation you will do, the same concrete, the same Kubankaba. Alright, so I may not have to stress some things. Because this things has already they've been stressed already in previous videos, so we can be a bit fast and the video doesn't become too lengthy. I hope we understand that. All right, now this is what we have. Okay, this is our drawing is 15 meters, and of course if we want to excavate, you have to add this, you have to add this, you have to add all these dimensions you're seeing here, and also here, which is basically what is obtained here. It is 15,000. We add 2 by 250, which is the wall of the swimming pool, the concrete wall of the swimming pool. This is that of the block wall. All right, now this is the projection here. That's a 300 projection. You'll see the dimension here. If you can see my cursor here, let me blow it. This is what you're seeing here. All right, so this is basically what you're seeing here. So hanine bo 16400 if you back comment it, the addition of everything is this is the length. The same thing goes for the width, which is as you get 9,400. So this is the description. Site clearance. See, the same site clearance we have been doing in previous, in pad foundation, in pad foundation, in road, in the same thing. All right, so this is 16.4 by 9.4. This is my site clearance, and down we go for excavation, right? Okay, so this is basically what we have. Now here we're trying to establish the average depth. Let me explain something here. The average depth of the swimming pool, because we have one depth here, we have one depth here, so we have to establish a depth so that by the time you excavate, because you're doing a bulk excavation, you have to excavate that place as like a pit. You have to excavate it like a pit. It's exactly the way you're seeing it here. Right, so we have 1.5 here, we have 2.1 here. Let me blow this thing up here. So we want to get the depth, right? Now both of them are the same thing. You see, 2.1, 1.5. Then we add 250. We add the blinding also, which is what we have here. This is 2.1. This is 1.5. We add 2 by 250. Right, we have 2 by 50. We add 2 by 50 because we have them on both sides. Right, at the end of the day we have this. If we divide it by 2, which is the average, we have 2,100. So this is the depth of the pit excavation we are doing, so which is basically what we have here. Excavation commencing from whatever level you are commencing your excavation from. Right, this is the length, this is the width, now this is the depth. So we have been able to, from here now we need to excavate that pool pit, right, before you now start the work you are doing in between. All right, now because you're going this depth, now we need for earthwork support, right, to prevent collapse, especially you're working on a soil where the bearing capacity is not high. You need to protect the surfaces to avoid collapse. All right, so we need to protect it. So basically, and of course it is done on 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. It is done on 4 sides, right? Because we have wall 1. If you look at it here, we have wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, or you say wall 3, wall 4, wall 3, wall 3. Wall 3, wall 3 means they are the same thing. They are operating at different levels. This one have the same height, this one have the same height. Of course, you know, if you look at from the section, this is different height, this is different height. But when it comes to here and the other side, they operate at the same height. All right, so this is what we have. One side of it, we add 250. We add this. We have this. This is the short side. This is this side here. This side here. All right. So the same thing. This is the other side of it. Right. This is the deeper part of it. This is the shallow part of the pool wall, and this is the deeper part. Right. The same thing. Okay. Now the only system, if I want to use the average, I can use this, and I can also put them, enter them separately. Now for this part, that is the longer part, right, it becomes the average of this height and the average of this height. That was why I applied average there. If I want to apply average for the 3 sides, just take the average and apply. Whoever does it will not be wrong, because it is average. It will not be wrong. You can go ahead and you can try it and let me know in the comment section. All right, so this is what we have here. So 16.24 is that long part. Remember this part that we already calculated, this long part, right, by 2.1, which is the average there. That is why you see it is by 2. Remember that we will say wall 3, wall 3. All right, now this is 9.4, which is the first part, by 2.4, which is what we just calculated, and this is 9.4 by 1.8, right, which is what we calculated here, 16.4 and 9.4 koba and kaba. All right, so that is how it's a square meter item. It is a square meter item, right? Length times breadth, or length times depth by whatever side, then length times depth by whatever sides, depending on the structure you have. All right, so now cutaway. Our next item is cutaway, that is disposal. The materials you excavate, you are not going to use, you dispose. Right. Okay. Now, understanding what you want to cut away is very, very important, because it determines what your backfilling is going to be. Now, let's come over here. Let me explain it here before I come over to the sheet. This is the plan, right? This is just like the normal land before you start your excavation, right? Now, I have excavated here. I have put blinding, which was not there before. I have put pool base, which was not there before, right? Now, what this means is the blinding there has displaced the sand there. This pool base has displaced a particular sand, because sand was there before, soil was there before, right? So the soil displaced by this pool base and that part of blinding will be disposed. The one displaced by this wall, concrete wall, by the block wall, also will be displaced. Now, this whole volume I excavate here, because I want to use this complete space. I want to use this complete space to put water. Madu Diasar, right? That people will be bathing in, swimming. That particular sand, they also cannot come back there anymore, because all will be there now will now be water. That sand also has been displaced. So this is what you are cutting away. Now let us see how it is in the measurement sheet. Right? Now this is the blinding. 16.4 by 9.4 by 0.05. The same thing goes for the pool base. It is 25 mm thick. 16.4 by 10.00 by 0.25. Okay, excuse me. By this is 9.4. Pool base by 0.25. Then we have the walls. Like I said, we have to remove the walls also, because the walls has displaced a particular sand there, and the same thing goes for the void also. All right, so this is basically what we have. This is a wall, right? 8 meter length. This is the concrete wall. That is why you see here it is 250. You see this wall is 250. You can see it. This is the wall. The first one here is the concrete wall, which is the walls of the swimming pool, while this one is the block wall that is surrounding it. Right? So that is what we have. The same thing goes for this other side, which is the longer part of it. This is the wall. We have it for two parts, two sides. Okay. Now, concrete wall. Now this is 8.5 by 0.25 by 1.5, which is the shallow part. Shallow part, I mean this part that is not deep, 1.5. Then we'll do for the other one also 8.5 by 0.25 by 2.1, which is the part that is deep. Now we'll do the same thing for the block wall. 8.5 by 0.55 by 1.5. The block wall is 150 mm thick, which is what we have here. You can see it is 150 mm thick, 150 mm thick, 150 mm thick. Excuse me. All right. So we'll do the same also for the other side of the concrete wall. Right. Now this is 14.5. Let me explain what happened there. Right. Now this is 15. Right. We have treated this 8 meter, 8 plus 250 plus 250, right? So we have removed everything here as displacement, this particular wall. We have removed this also, this particular wall. So this is 15,000. We have already removed this part and this part, which we treated together with 8,000. So this is 15,000 now minus 250 minus 250, right? So this should be 15,000 because this is already gone. This is already gone. This should be 15,000. I shouldn't minus any 250. This is 15,000 on the dot because the 250 and 250 is not part of this 15,000. So what should be here? That's my recorder. What should be here should be 15.00. Let me explain again. All right, I have taken this part. See my cursor from here about the tower here, which is 8,000 plus 250 plus 250. That's what we did in the shallow part and the deep part, right? So I've taken care of this 250 here. If I add it here again, 15,000 plus 250 plus 250, I will be double measuring. So that is why it is just 15,000 for this long length. That is why you see I changed it. It was 14.5 before, meaning I removed 250, which was not part of the 15,000. So this is basically what we have here. Then for the block wall also, let's clarify the block wall. The block wall is here. So I have taken this complete. So what will be here is 15,000 plus 250 plus 250 because this is where I am now. Because I've taken care of this. So the length of the block wall that is remaining is 15,000 plus 250 plus 250, which is 500. So this should be 15,500, 15.5. I hope we get it. Now measurement is not something you cram. It is a drawing. As you go through, you come back, you see that, oh, I didn't get it, where you go out and you adjust it. So that is what measurement is all about. It is not cramming. If you cram or you copy from somewhere, you will do rubbish. And when you do rubbish, you will not know that you have done rubbish. So it's something you should understand. Take your time and understand what you're doing. This is so this is for the block wall. Right, now this is for the void. I said this particular void also has to go, this space, because if you see it here, at the end of the day, you see you now have tiles inside, you now have water inside, people now be coming in to swim, and also that void also has to go, which is 15 by 8 by 1.8. Remember how we arrived at 1.8? We said the deep part is 1.5. The shallow part is 1.5. The deep part is 1.8. So if I back comment these guys, if I recommend this, guys. Let's see, because I didn't add the base and then the blinding. All right, so this should be 1.5 plus this plus 0.25 plus 0.25. That's the complete deep part, plus 0.05 plus 0.05 plus this. Remember this I'm gonna oh sorry, 1.5 by 2.1. 1.8. 1.5 plus 2.1 gives us this particular figure. All right, so let's move. Now, this is why I said you need to do your cutaway wear so that you can get your backfilling right. Now, backfilling basically is excavation minus cut. In anything you are doing, except maybe your boss wants to see how you did the backfilling and the cutaway. If you do backfilling, you don't need to do cutaway, because excavation is backfilling minus cutaway. Excavation is backfilling plus cutaway. Right? Excavation is backfilling plus cutaway. Your cutaway and your backfilling must be equal to your excavation, otherwise something is wrong somewhere. You get? Now, we have excavation and we already know our cutaway. So excavation minus cutaway gives us our backfilling. So all you need to do is add up your excavation, remove the cutaway you calculated. You have that. Now let's quickly go to the concrete works. All right, concrete works. Now remember, concrete works, we have both the blinding and then the base and then the walls. The same concrete you have been doing since time immemorial. The same concrete we want to do now. Right. The first step, of course, should be the blinding. It's a cubic meter item. It is a cubic meter item, right? Okay. Now, this is what we have. This is 9.4 by 5.7. This is for the shallow part. Right. This is it here. This is 500. This is 5,000. Right? We're doing the blinding. Plus 250 plus 150. That is 400 plus 300, which is 700. That's 5.7. That is how you see 5.7 here. Did I do it somewhere anywhere up here? No. Okay. All right. So the same thing goes for the deep part also, right? This is 10. This is 250. This is 400. This is 300. 10.7. This is 10.7. All right, by 9.4. We already calculated 9.4. Right, so that is the concrete for the blinding. Now the reinforced concrete. Now the reinforced concrete is the same method, it's the same way, just that the thickness now is different. The thickness now is different. It's same 5.7 by 9.45 by 9.4 by 0.25. This is 10.7. 10.7 by 9.4 by 0.25. Now these are the BSMM for our references. You can take your BSMM for our, you can search them out, you can check them out. They are cubic meter items. All right, they are cubic meter items. Now that is that page. Now we'll come here. This is to the walls. We have calculated these walls before. If you remember when we were doing cutaway, we have calculated for these walls, right? When we're doing cutaway, right? So this is one wall by 0.25 by 1.5. Just scroll up, you will see there. This is 8.5. That's for the other wall, but this is the deeper one. That's why you see it is 2.1. Now this is for the longer part of the swimming pool, the 50-meter part of the swimming pool by 0.25 by 1.8 by 2. Right, so this is already 8.5. This one will now be 15 exactly. If you remember what we explained there when I was talking about 14.5 and we had to go and check again in the drawing. So that is that. Then the formwork, of course you have to do formwork to the base. You do formwork, I'm touching my hand, do formwork to this base here, right? You do formwork to the wall also. All right, this is what we have here. Now this is to the base. Edges of horizontal walk 250, less than 500 mm high, which is 250 mm thick, wide and thick, thick, right? So this is 16.4, which is this side, this part of it, this long part, right, by 2 for the two sides. And this is this side, the 90 has the shorter part by 2. Now faces of walls, another vertical walk. This is square meter item. This is 8.5 by 1.5, which is the shallow part, the side. Right, there's something I want to explain here now. Now this is this part also, 8.5 by 2.1. This is faces of walls. Good. All right, now if you come here, if you look at this drawing now, let me explain something. This is where you are going to have formwork. Go back over here. Right, so what this means is there's a wall here. This wall is already one formwork at the back. This wall is already serving as a formwork, so I will not be having two formworks. I will only be having one, because the block is already serving as a formwork for the other part of it. What am I trying to say? This should not be here, or I can just make it 1, but I want to remove it. This one also should be 1. This one should be 2, not 2 by 2. Bam. This is visible because one side is already blocked, right? Okay, you don't carry measurement though, you know it, otherwise you do rubbish. All right, now this is damp proof membrane. That is that about the formwork, right? So this is damp proof membrane. So okay, you put your DPM to avoid upward movement of water. Excuse me, please. Upward movement of water. Right. So basically, before you cast, after the blinding, you put your DPM and then you cast, or whichever one you want to do, or you have done your reinforcement and then you want to cast. No, I think in this case, so that the DPM is not punctured, you put your DPM and then you blind and then you cast to avoid puncturing of the DPM. So you put your DPM and then you do the blinding and then you lay your reinforcement and then you cast. That's the methodology. All right, so this is 5.7 by 9 point, which is the shallow part, which is here. Then you go to the deep part also, which is this. Then you see there's a water bar. Right, water bar runs horizontally. See this thing here, this dimension, it runs horizontally right round. Right, it is to prevent horizontal movement of water. Vertical. Yes, it's to prevent vertical, no, horizontal, because your DPM prevents vertical movement. This one prevents water from the sides. All right, so it is in meters. It is measured in meters, in linear meters. All right, so this is an item. Now reinforcement, the same reinforcement we have been doing, the same thing we still want to do now. All right, so I may not be speaking too much on it. Now let me explain it from here and then you'll get it. This is this reinforcement here. See if you can see my cursor. These are reinforcement. We have Y16 member, we have Y12 runners. For the base, we have Y12 both ways at 200 center to center. All right, so this is for our Y12 length. So we need to know the total length and then we apply whatever we want to apply. This is 500, 2 by, of course this is 2 by 250 if you see it in the drawing. The same thing with this one, right? And this is 15,000. All right, this is okay. This is the base, the main bars for the base, because they are the same thing. By now we should be conversant with it. Just this 15,000. Then we add this, we add this here. That is what is done here. All right, so to see the reinforcement we have to less cover, which is 2 by 25. Oh, I use 50. Okay, now if I'm using 50 here, okay, if you remember, in my assumption I used 25, so I have to go and change it back to 50. So whatever you're using should match. I remember now that this is 173. I said cover is 25, but in my measurement I use cover to be, should I change it to 25? No, I think I already used 50 there. Let's use 50 here also, so that it will correlate. Whatever you're using should correlate, but 50 is much for cover anyway. So, but you understand the point I am trying to make there. All right, so we use 50, which is 2 by 50. That gives me this, and then I add bent 2 by 75. That gives me this. Now for me to know the total number of reinforcement, right, we are told that the spacing is 200 center to center. It is 200 center to center. So this is basically what I have. The reinforcement is running around here. This is the length, right? If I place the reinforcement, they are running like this, cover like this. So this is what will determine the total number. This side, that will determine the total number. That is why you see how to add this, add everything up, and then divide by the spacing. 8,000 plus 250 plus 250 plus 150 plus 150. That's 800 divided by the spacing, 200 plus 1, because where you're starting from you add 1. That's how we'll have 45 numbers here. All right, the same thing for the distribution bars, just that the length will be different, or the total number will be different, including the length. The length will also be different. Now this is what we have. The same thing we did in the other side, we'll do here. We less cover, we add bent, and then we where are you? What I want to do? All right. So the same thing applies here. If you come here, now this is the member, right? Now these are the runners, so to say, right? So they are running towards 15. The one here will be running towards 15 mm. Right, so that's why you see here divided by 200 plus 1. So high reinforcement bars, this is 15.85 by 2 by 45, which is this one. Why this one? It is no, this is not 15.8. It's not possible. This is 8.85. The length of this is 8.85. 8.85, right? Now it is measured in tons. Now you must put this unit well. This is Y12. The weight factor for Y12 is 0.888. Right? The reinforcement factor. The same thing for all of them. You should know all of them. Alright, so divide by 1000. This is in kg, right? Kg per meter. Divided by 1000, you get it in tons. Now this just tells the examiner that okay, you understand what you're doing. You must put it in tons, and you cannot just come here and put T, because this measurement does not depict T. It depicts meter. By the time you multiply by 0.888, you have converted to kg. By the time you divide by 1000, you have converted to ton. Konjiko. Alright, so this is basically what we have. And then the same thing goes for the walls also. The same thing goes for the walls. Right? Now the wall members is Y16. These are the walls. This one, and then the one that goes here up, and the one that this wall 1, wall 2. Now this is it here. Is what I'm saying here. This is the wall, right? This is the long part of the swimming pool. See my cursor. See this block. See this reinforcement you're seeing. This is the other part. This is now the shorter part. Right. Now if you look at it from here, this is the shallow part. This is the deep part. Look at it from here also. This is the shallow part. This is the deep part. Alright, I hope we get it. Alright, so let's do it quickly. So we know our shallow is 1.5, right? This is 250, which is the thickness, right? So let's cover, and then we add bent. For us to know the total number, this is this plus 1. Alright, because I'm running towards the 8.5 part. The same thing goes for wall 2, which is the deep part now. Right, so and then we add bent just the same way we did there. All right, so all right, so the total number is what we have here. The same thing goes for the other part. That's wall 3, which is the long part. The same thing we did there, the same thing we are still going to do here for the main bars, and then for the distribution bars. Right, so I don't want to take too much time. We have done this over and over and over and over, and also this sheet will be made available. Right, okay. All right, this is what we have here. Or how you reinforcement bars. Wall 1, this is 1.8 by 44 by 2. The same thing goes for wall 2, which is 2.4. This is wall 1. Right, Okay. The same thing goes for wall 2. The same thing goes for wall 3. Now wall 3 is two numbers. Now this is 44 by 2. This is what it means here. See, let me zoom in. We have one here. We have another one here. Kuba and Kaba. Alright, so that's why you see by 2 by 2. Then for this side, you have one here, and then you want to have one at the other side also. Alright, the same thing goes for their distribution bars. This is what we have, and this is for wall 2, this is for wall 3. That's why you see by 2 by 2. Now of course you have to put it in their respective units, whether it's in ton or is in kg you are working on. But BSMM4R, the unit is in ton, so you have to leave your answer in ton. Okay, so now we go to block work. Of course, remember, after the concrete work there is a block work. The block work is surrounding the the concrete wall. Alright, now so this is basically what we have here. Alright, this is wall 1 by 1.5, 8.5. This is wall 1 here. Wall 1, wall 2, this is 8. Alright, 8,000. And then we have 250. We have 250. Right, and then we should have 150 and 150. What happened here? 8.5 by 1.5. It should not be 8.5, it should be 8.8. That is the length of wall 1. Wall 1 should be 8.8 by 1.5. Wall 2 should be 8.8 by 2.1. Right, this is 8. This is 250, this is 250, which is 500. This is 150, this is 150. This is the wall outside. This is the concrete wall here. This is the block wall outside. So this should be another 8.80. Right. Now the next item here is the longer path of the swimming pool, right, which is here is 14.5. Let's confirm from what the drawing says specifically. This is the wall outside, right, and this is 15,000. I've taken care of this wall to this end. I've taken care of this wall to this end, right? So I have only from here to here, which is 15,000 plus 250 plus 250. I have left because I've taken care of this and I have taken care of this. So what I should be having is 15.5. That's 15,000 plus 500 plus 500. It should be 15.5, not 14.5. Right, by 0.15. Huh? 0.55 will not be there. This is block wall. All right. So this is what we have. Okay, this is the block wall by 2, of course, for the two sides. 1.8. Remember 1.8. How we arrived at 1.8? 1.5 plus 2.1. You are called, you are divided by 2. Kobankaba. That's the average height of the longer length of the swimming pool. And then we have waterproofing. Now, because having done the swimming pool, you still have to waterproof, right? So this is basically what we have. Self-adhesive waterproof. The same thing. We've done it before. This is the wall. Add whatever, then the base, and then the base thickness, and then wall 2, and then for wall 3. So this is 8 meters. That's the shorter part by 2.2. All right, this is the other part by 2.8. This is the longer part by 2.5 by 2, right? So now it will be need for some finishing, right? Because you may have to do some screeding works. I may also have to do some tiling works in the swimming pool. So you screed the base, right, which is what you have 15 by 8, and of course you put swimming pool in, you put tiles in both the base and then the walls, in both the base and then the walls, which is basically what we have here, right? This is tiling for the base, this is tiling for the shallow part of, no, the longer part of the wall, which is, that's why I see average of 1.8. This is the shallow part of the wall and this is the deep part of the wall, and then maybe the pool edges. What I mean by pool edges, I mean at the end of the day, this place here. Now, okay, see, good, this is what you're seeing here. Maybe the same tile, maybe different tile, but you have to allow for it. So basically, this is how you measure the swimming pool. And they're also mechanical and electrical, depending on the drawing you have, right? But this of course will be treated under electrical and mechanical works, just very few also. And also they may be handrail, depending on the drawing you have. Remember the handrail that you used to go into the pool and then you come out. So all you need to do is study your drawing very well, get the details, and then you measure accordingly. I hope this helps you. This is long. I hope it helps you in your academics, and it also helps you in your professional career. Now, there's something I observed here that I think I did not add in that sheet. Now, if you look at this in here, this is 1.5. This reinforcement is 1.5, right? Now there's a little because it has to connect with the reinforcement at the base. It has to connect. So this is 1.5, so it is projecting a little further. One is the cover, which is 50 we used, and then before the bending, right, it goes maybe 100 mm, and then you add bend. I don't think it is allowed for. So if you're doing work that professionally, or maybe an exam, please remember that it is not in. I didn't add that little projection, maybe 100 mm. It may be minute, it may not make any, but at least just for professionalism sake. All right, I hope this helps you professionally. I hope it helps you in your career. I hope it helps you in your academics, in whatever you're doing. And this is basically how you measure a swimming pool. It took me time to prepare this because I was just doing it small. And again, like I said, you don't cram. It is what you know you use, right? Now, if you can see, even after I prepared, I said during the tutorial, I still had to go back to the drawing and I said, oh no, this one should not be like this. This one should not be like this. This one should be like this. That is measurement. You should know it. You don't cram it. You know it. All right, this is Chaka Context. I hope you've learned a thing or two in this particular video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.